Charlotte, North Carolina, a new South City that's become a center of power in the banking and financial field. But today, instead of the dollar, franc, and lira, it's Audi, Porsche, and BMW as the American Le Mans Series brings its brand of exotic sports car racing to the heart of stock car country in the Grand Prix of Charlotte.
In 1946, 54 years ago, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Wilbur Shaw spoke for the first time those words that every American racing fan loves to hear. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brilliant.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's Grand Prix of Charlotte. On pole, BMW Team Schnitzer. J.J. Lato to start the car. He won 4 of 6 races he entered in 1999. Jan Magnussen of Denmark. Team of David Braverman of Panoz on the outside of the front row. Starting third, Italian Mimo Scattarella. And veteran Didier Duronicus in the all-new Lola for Team Rafanelli. In fourth, it's the Audi of Sebring winner Emmanuel Pirro, teamed with Frank Vila. The second of the Audi R8s, Scotsman Alan McNish will start. He's in 5th on the grid. Starting 6th is the second of the BMW prototypes. Frenchman Jean-Marc Gugnon will team with Californian Bill Oberlin. There you see that car starting in 6th position. And outside the front row, that is Jan Magnussen of Denmark in the Panoz as the field comes up to speed for the start of the Grand Prix of Charlotte.
And here we go. We do have green. Watch this going into turn 1, a really tight section of track. Look at Scattarella. There's contact. Scattarella, the Audi came together. Audi made a great start. I don't think Scattarella quite wanted to let him by. They're still battling going into this area.
Up the inside
Both
corner,
Audis.
that's McNish to the inside of Scattarella. So Scattarella gets kicked back from 3rd on the start to 5th before they get into the infield course.
Well, critical for him to settle down right now. He did such a stirring performance all through qualifying, as team owner Rafanelli talked about. It was pasta power and brought him up really, really high on the grid. Outstanding job for this independent team against the factories.
You see the top 6 have kind of formed a single file line and broken away at the start. It is Lato leading. That's the second place runner there, the Panoz of Jan Magnussen. They started 1 and 2, and as you saw on the break, they got single file pretty quickly. That first left-hand corner was going to be critical to not throw your whole race away, as will getting through that chicane that they just did cleanly.
Yeah, and I think as the race goes on, the chicane really may come into play as being one of the critical areas, because again, when you get tired, it only takes a mistake of 1 inch and you're going to be scattering those tires all over this track.
Looking back at the lead in the GT class, this would be the number 5 car of Lucas Luhr, the young German, and Randy Pobst, the Alex Job Racing Porsche, a pair of Porsche 911 GT3Rs here. This the newer generation racing package from the Porsche factory in Germany.
Yeah, these are both very famous names. Randy, of course, drives for Alex Job Racing, the team that won the championship last year, did such a great job. And the team immediately behind that car right there, the mobile car, is Dick Barber Racing, a name that all sports car fans will remember from 20 years ago.
GTS leader there, the 2 Vipers running 1 and 2. Not a surprise there in the GTS class.
Boy, not at all. They have just performed as we thought they would, like the proverbial trains this year. They ran away with the championship last year. Staggering performance, amazingly reliable and incredibly quick too.
That 3rd position has changed hands while we were away in the break. Alan McNish with a brave move to get that number 3 position away from his teammate.
They had a huge battle going on here. Obviously, it comes down to ego. This, I want to be in front, and there was no love lost right there.
McNish, they actually brushed each other when he went by, but McNish safely up into the 3rd position.
Tommy Archer came out of the 92 Viper just dumbstruck because these cars have been so phenomenally reliable, especially in the transmission department. That is what has failed. You see a new and ready to go in. You couldn't believe it.
I called in, I said, man, we got a problem. And I says, you know, you're just not ready for that with this car, because it's been so bulletproof, and just about every race we've been to, you know, you just race.
Riding with the leader of the Grand Prix of Charlotte for the American Le Mans Series, that is Jan Magnussen of Denmark in the Panoz. He's just ahead of J.J. Lato in the BMW.
Now watch Lato up there. He tries to come down a little bit, but leaves Magnussen enough room. And right now, he's accelerating as hard as he can. There you got Ford V8 sitting alongside V12 Jag. Look at this. Shades of Dale and Leroy and all the good NASCAR boys. But there he's got it. It's over and done goodbye. Once he's inside the BMW, Lato cannot possibly risk it. Now also a lap or 2 later, Hodge Stuck gets a tap in the back. He gets spun around by one of the Porsches.
Wow.
This is just incredible.
Oh, he missed it. He blew the chicane.
Right straight through. Just carried. Well, he got the fastest speed through the chicane, but unfortunately the count.
That would be Jean-Marc Gagnon in the 43 BMW car, running in 4th overall. It'll be interesting to see if there's a penalty there for that.
Now let's watch the back of the car and see if it squats or loses rear braking. No, just simply carrying way too much speed. But he made a very wise decision, and I don't think he will get a penalty because he didn't really advance his position anything.
So a full course caution has slowed the Grand Prix of Charlotte, and you see all of the teams at the front of the field taking advantage of the yellow flag period for a stop. There is the Alex Job Racing Porsche that brought out the full course caution by bumping into the tire barrier that makes up the chicane.
In about 2 minutes, they put on a new nose, a right front fender, and a right door. Ask your local body shop to accomplish that for you someday. Ha! Bad chance.
Hey, Steve, there's certain places you can park in Miami that would take those pieces off in 2 minutes, but about putting them back on, I don't think so.
So there you see the car back on course, trying to catch up with the rest of the field that is about to go green once again. Magnussen up through the gears quickly. And a spin down through the triangle.
Man, oh man, there was
the Audis and one of the BMWs. Parts bouncing away from the cars.
Oh gosh, that almost brought back a memory of 1985 when a car spun through the grass and T-boned another car. Look at this. Look at the Audi coming down low. The BMW tries to avoid him and just lost it.
Jean-Marc Gagnon tried to get into the grass, ran out of room as Frank Biela came down the racetrack in the Audi. Contact there.
Man.
Jan Magnussen leads in the Panoz. You look at him there, the red machine, being chased now by Jörg Muller, who has taken over driving that BMW that started on pole from J.J. Leto. They made the driver change at the pit stop. Here is the reason we are under the full course caution. That was the Audi R8 that Ronaldo Capello was driving. Now it is sitting along the guardrail inside between turns 2 and 3 in the infield part of the course.
You're on board the Audi, coming out of the corner, getting on the gas way too early. The twin turbos kick in, suddenly, bang, you're round into the guardrail, your race is over.
Here comes the race leader on to pit road. Jan Magnussen has been aboard this Panoz right from the start. He's going to bail out now. Bill, let's talk pit strategy for a minute. When the caution first came out, the BMW, the second place car that was 7 seconds behind this Panoz, ducked onto pit lane first and made his stop before the pace car picked up the field.
I think they gained a lot merely by being in a better position on the track, that they were closer to the pit lane entrance, so they took advantage of it and dove in right away. You're right. We saw this great battle earlier between the number 5 car and the 23 car from Alex Job Racing. Just tremendous action. Both of the cars have come under problems. Driver-induced problems. We saw Alex Job's car, it smacked the rear chicane. This car, not far from where the Audi went off, lost it going into the corner. You can see he tags the guardrail and it looked relatively light, except look at the trail of steam off the front. Here's on board, watch this. Just ever so slow, he gets off the line and then bam, right there. Doesn't seem like a serious accident, but the radiators in the front of the car are very vulnerable at that point.
Bad news there for the Dick Barber team. On the other side of the coin, the good news is the team machine with Bob Wallach and Sasha Maassen has been leading the GT class once this car and the Alex Job car of Randy Popes both had their problems. We are back at Lowe's Motor Speedway at Charlotte and the Grand Prix of Charlotte for the American Le Mans Series on NBC. You're looking at the race leader. It is Jörg Muller driving the BMW that started on pole, got the lead with some crafty pit strategy on the full course caution we had just a moment ago. On the restart, he's pulled away from what is turning into a fabulous duel for second spot.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing you dream about. I mean, this is what the fans come and pay big bucks to see, because there are two tremendously talented drivers. Bill Oberlin from California, followed by David Brabham right behind, and these cars are going tooth and nail. Now look at this. They're coming around this banking 160, 170 miles an hour right here, and watch when they get to the front straight. Brabham has twice kind of made, I can't even call them feints, like real, here he goes. One more time down the inside.
Does he have enough room? Does he have enough room?
Oh, he's on the inside. He's got it.
Turn and a move.
Unbelievable. Brabham set that up twice before he got in so deep. Tremendous driving. In fact, the one time that I really thought he was going to hit him, he was able to somehow back out of position, didn't lock the brakes, saved everything. Now I think you're going to see him pull away pretty dramatically. Now look at the back of this other Audi, the number 78 car. He is dragging the rear tray, one of the aerodynamic devices on these cars, off the back end. See it dragging right there. Now that's going to be costing him a lot of downforce.
There's the leader in the GT class, and this is an extreme surprise. This is the BMW M3 of Peter and Brian Cunningham. Peter aboard now. This is the older model BMW M3 that was not expected to keep up with or outrun either the newer model Beamer or the Porsches. But there they find themselves in the lead.
Just when you're told a car can't possibly win, there it is.
There's the 43 up ahead of the Olive Garden car. This is a race for third spot.
And
Mullen
look,
has changed hands.
He's really going at it. That's coming down the back straight. Heavy braking. No, he's not going to try it. That is Bill Oberlin.
This car, the new Lola machine for the Rafanelli team, very untested in comparison to the established cars of BMW that were used all last year and developed more. This is a car that's basically fresh out of the box, brought to the racetrack, and let's go at it and see how we make out.
Yeah, and it's basically ugly, too. That is just the strangest looking race car I have ever seen.
A spin, and a driver bailing out of a car that is apparently on fire.
It sure looks like it.
Waving his arms around, that would be Sam Shillelagh in the Don McGill Racing Porsche 911 Turbo, one of the GTS cars.
Look at the back of the car. Tremendous trail of smoke.
Look at the flame inside the car.
He's getting loose, too. Look at this. He's starting to spin in his own oil.
Look at the flame up inside behind him. Wow.
Yeah.
Bail out fast. And now the double yellow flags are out. So full course caution here. Leader ducks onto pit road.
That is exactly it. BMW are ready.
This was the strategy that got this car the lead last time, ducking onto pit road before being gobbled up by the pace car. Let's cover the stop. Martin Haven.
Well, BMW got the yellow flag they needed, and barely were the words out of our mouths before it happened. The question is, will everybody else come in now? I think the answer is very probably yes. Jörg Müller now happy to stay at the wheel of the car.
And here you can see Didier de Radigues accelerates out the Olive Garden car, and watch alongside. Suddenly there's Bill Oberlin, the BMW. And as they go, no, you're not going to make it. I think I want that piece of track more than you want it.
This caution flag was a huge break, I think, for the Panoz that we're looking at there. The David Brabham car was about 18 seconds behind the leader, Jörg Müller.
All of a sudden.
Now, the pit strategy, they're not going to be right behind them on the restart, but it's allowed him to close some of that ground up, and if he can get through the traffic pretty quickly, he is in second. He's going to have a shot at least getting to the BMW, I would think. Much better than he had before when he was 18 seconds behind. Let's take a look back. I mentioned just a minute ago the James Barbosa car sitting on the infield. You see the damage to the left front wheel, kind of tilted out of kilter there.
Coming into the corner.
It's not turning.
No, it's not turning at all.
And that's grass. That's not good.
That's guardrail. That's worse.
Now this thing's going to come back across the track on him. Fortunately, there was no traffic there to collect him. Let's go back racing. Green flag is in the air. The race for third and fourth.
Well,
plus the race for first and second, all separated with lap cars.
Brabham disposed of a whole bunch of cars in a heartbeat. He is suddenly the fourth car on the track. He is immediately behind Bill Oberlin's BMW, who in turn is right behind the Olive Garden car that we're in right now.
This is the third place car. This is Didier de Radigues in the Olive Garden Lola. Behind him is Oberlin, the fourth place car, in the other BMW. Ahead, you're looking at the quickly distancing lead BMW. Jörg Müller and David Brabham trapped behind this race for position in the second place Panoz. Kind of a jumbling of positions because of the timing of the pit stops and the caution flag and so on. But basically the lead two cars are what are left on the lead lap, and these other two cars are fighting for a top 5 spot, but one lap down. And Brabham has gotten by Oberlin.
Finally, let's see now if he can make any sort of a dent on the lead that de Radigues has pulled out.
Here's the pass. Let's watch it.
And once again, his favorite spot has been under braking going into turn 1. You can see, look how careful he's being. You can see the back of the car. Just, oh my, he has been so good at this area of track all day long. He's just got this wonderful sensitivity to braking.
Looking back now on the GT race for the lead, the surprising BMW, the older model BMW M3 with Peter Cunningham aboard, continues to lead the GT class by 6.7 seconds over one of the Dick Barber Porsches, Sascha Maassen. Bob Wallach teaming in that car. Maassen now aboard the machine, and he's got not a lot of time left to make up 6 seconds. Oh, the BMW missed the chicane. See it? When the Audi came up inside of him, he missed the chicane.
Now,
did he advance his position?
That is something that I think the officials will take a very close look at, because he, without question, stretched his lead.
Here's the Audi late braking into the chicane. Squeeze play is on. Wow.
You know what? I don't know. I think the BMW can plead his case here, because he could not turn in because the Audi was right alongside. So I tend to, if I'm in the position of an official, no penalty.
And again, this is the Porsche of Sascha Maassen. He's got by his team car. He's closing on Peter Cunningham's BMW.
Well, this might be payback for Sears Point last year. You remember that Porsche had the lead with 1 lap to go, and Hans Stuck in one of those M3s stole it. So let's see now.
This was a lap ago at the chicane.
Now there is the team car, number 5 on the inside, and once again, can the BMW turn in? No. So twice in a row now.
Fine.
Now look at the time he gains.
Fine, want to make things difficult for me, trying to help your teammate? I'll show you.
Now he's driving very calmly right now. I'm really quite impressed by the Dick Barber car. There is no rush. I think it's almost like sitting with the big gun loaded. You know you can fire anytime you want, so just pick the right place.
Let's see if he tries him under braking at the chicane this time. That's where he's made up a lot of ground the last couple of laps. So
yeah, look at this. Here he
goes. Inside, outside, Cunningham moves low to block. This looks like a stock car race. Trading paint down the backstretch at Charlotte.
I don't think so. He went in deep.
He was going to stick the bumper to him, I thought. Out of the infield, up on the super speedway, turn 1. Dropping to the bottom of the banking is Wisconsin driver Peter Cunningham trying to put the block on Sasha Mawson. He'll try the outside this time, up the back straightaway. Does he have enough to make it work?
I think so.
He's got it.
Oh, cleanly.
Sasha Mawson with a pass for the lead in the GT class with 3 minutes to go in this race. Pretty good race with 3rd position overall. This is Didier Doroticus in the Olive Garden machine, and Bill Oberlin in the BMW, nose to tail on the racetrack. Inside of 2 minutes to go in the race. That'll get him what? 2 more laps.
Oh, it'll get him an extra plate of pasta, that's for sure. Mr. Rafanelli's got to be smiling over this one. That if he can get his car ahead of one of the factory BMWs or both or whatever, he will be delighted.
About to come through Speedway turns 3 and 4 to see the checkered flag. Jörg Muller and co-driver J.J. Leto. Leto winning 4 of 6 races he entered a year ago. The headlights flashing, fist in the air. Redemption and victory.
Just a great job, too. Really, really well done by everybody. There's the hand in the air for celebration.
It was very good result for BMW and for Schnitzer team. I think that we struggled a lot in Sebring, and we got back, here. I mean, we still have a lot of work to do, and it seemed to be that it was very competitive today. Panoz was very strong, Audis were losing a little bit today, but the privateers, the Rafanelli team with the Lola and Chad, they were very, very competitive, and it's good to see that the privateers can compete with us, and no problems at all.
Just saw the GTS class winner, the Viper of Olivier Beretta and Carl Wendlinger. A little salute there as Peter Cunningham pulls alongside the GT class winner, which was Sasha Mawson, who co-drove with Bob Wallach to a victory for Dick Barber, Porsche.
And it was a hard-fought victory. David Brabham came on in the end, just couldn't quite do it. And of course, a heartfelt favorite of the day.
The Olive Garden team, Doroticus and Scattarella, coming up with a 3rd place run in that new Lola. Looking at the GTS class winner, the Beretta Wendlinger car took the victory there. And you look at some of the rest of the rundown, including some of the Audis who had their problems early, in particular the 20th place finishing car. And that's the rest of the finish in the Grand Prix of Charlotte.